Hi everyone, Monisha here. In this video, I will be explaining you about each and every parts and the functions of the human eye and also power of accommodation. So this is part 1 of human eye chapter where I will be explaining only two topics, the function of each and every part and also the power of accommodation. You have studied in my previous video about refraction of light by lenses. You also studied the nature, position and relative size of images formed by lenses. How can this idea help us in the study of human eye? The human eye uses light and enables us to see objects around us. It has a lens in its structure. In this, we will find out the function of lens in human eye. How do the lens used in spectacles correct defects of the vision? We have learned in the previous video about light and some of its properties. Here, we use those ideas to study some of the optical phenomena in nature. We shall also study about rainbow formation, splitting of white light and blue color of sky. Come, let us dive into the wonderful world of human eye. The human eye is one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organs. It enables us to see the wonderful world and the colors around us. On closing the eyes, we can identify objects to some extent by their smell, taste, sound they make, or by touch. It is, however, impossible to identify colors while closing the eyes. Thus, of all the sense organs, the human eye is the most significant one, as it enables us to see the beautiful, colorful world around us. Human eye. The human eye is like a camera. Its lens system forms an image on a light-sensitive screen called the retina. So this part you can see is a screen which is a retina where the image of the object will fall. And inside the retina there is numerous number of cells called as rods and cones. Light enters the eye through a thin membrane called the cornea. So here the topmost layer which you can see is the cornea. And the cornea is made up of so many layers. Bowman layer, epithelium, stroma, descent layer, that is a membrane, and endothelium. There are so many layers on the cornea. It forms a transparent bulge on the front surface of the eyeball. You can see the front surface of the eyeball. This transparent bulge in front surface of our eye is the cornea. The eyeball is approximately spherical in shape with a diameter of about 2.3 centimeter. Our eye is approximately a spherical ball shape, whereas the diameter of the eye is measured to be 2.3 centimeter. Most of the refraction of the light rays entering the eye occurs at the outer surface of the cornea. We already know that cornea is the outer transparent bulge, and this transparent bulge or the cornea behaves like a convex lens. Most of the refraction of light takes place on that cornea layer itself. All the light rays enter into the eye through this convex lens or cornea region. The crystalline lens merely provides the finer adjustment of focal length required to focus object at different distance on the retina. So this is the crystalline lens. So this is the cornea, and then comes the iris region and pupil, and inside it will be crystalline lens, and this layer is retina, and this is the nervous system. So here this is the crystalline lens. What the crystalline lens does? In order to see the near and farther objects, the crystalline lens helps us to see those things. When it contracts, we can see the nearer object. When it expands, we can see the farther object. So this is the crystalline lens. We find a structure called iris behind the cornea. Iris is a dark muscular diaphragm that controls the size of the pupil. The pupil regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. So the outer bulge, transparent bulge, is the cornea, and behind the transparent bulge we can see the color of the eyes. Different color of the eyes according to the different region of people. So this region of colored region is said to be iris. And what this iris does? The iris regulates the entering of light rays inside the pupil. This small region is called as a pupil, from where the light rays enter into the eye, from which we can see the object around us. So if we suddenly go into a dark room, it's unable and to see the object around us because of the darkness. At that stage, the pupil will enlarge to get maximum amount of light rays inside it to adjust the eye to see the objects around that dark room. When we go into a brightly lit room, we usually close our eyes because again the pupil will adjust itself to take only a minute amount of light inside it. So that is the working of this pupil, to adjust the light rays and regulate the light rays inside the entering of the eye to get the image of an object. The eye lens forms an inverted real image of an object on the retina. Whenever we see an object, usually an inverted real image will form on the screen of the retina. It's not the direct erect image. It will be always an inverted real image. So after sending this image into the brain interprets into which object is that. So retina is a delicate membrane having enormous number of light sensitive cells. Retina is not only a screen, it is made up of numerous amount of cells which determines the color, the structure of the object. So these cells are lights, rod and cone, pigment epithelium, bipolar neurons, ganglion cells, optic nerve fiber. There are numerous cells inside the structure of retina. So the light sensitive cells get activated upon illumination and generate electrical signals. So when the light rays enter inside the eyes, we can see the object around us. This happens when these cells gets illuminated by the incident light. So once it happens, we can see the object in an inverted image inside the screen of the retina. But afterwards, it will send the image to our brain, which the brain interprets what object is that. These signals are sent to the brain via optic nerves. The brain interprets these signals and finally processes the information so that we can perceive object as they are. For example, if we are seeing an alphabet A, an inverted image of that alphabet A falls on the screen of the retina. So by the rods and cones, an electrical signal will be generated by the illumination of light. And this electrical signal is sent to the brain through optic nerves. These are the optic nerves. And with a minute fraction of second, the brain understands and interprets that is alphabet A. These all informations have been perceived in a minute second. For example, if you are seeing a cup of coffee, first the light from the cup of coffee enter into the cornea of your eyes. And your pupil and the iris adjust to send the cup of coffee, the light from the cup of coffee inside your eyes. Whereas an inverted image of the cup of coffee falls on the retina. The cones and rods of the retina will interpret the color and also the size of the image. And it will send those information of electrical signals to our brain. The brain within a fraction and minute of seconds will tells you this is a cup of coffee and have it. All these things happens within a small minute second. That is the wonderful incredible experience which you get from an eye. So eye is the most wonderful thing a human being get. I hope you understood this. Damage or malfunction of any part of the visual system can lead to significant loss of visual functioning. For example, if any of the structures involved in the transmission of light, like cornea, pupil, eye lens, aqueous humor and vitreous humor, are those responsible for the conversion of light into electrical impulse, like the retina or even the optical nerve that transmits these impulses to the brain is damaged, it will result in visual impairment. That is the permanent damage to the eye. So taking care of the eye is very important. Sitting in front of TV, watching mobile phones, high radiation substances will completely visually impair our eye for a lifetime. So taking care of our eye is very important. because that is the biggest boon given by God to us. So we have to take care of our eyes, where we have to wash our eyes daily, once in 1 hour, so that the dust particles remove from our eye. Seeing mobile phones and TV radiation for a long time causes permanent visual impairment. You can see some of the images shown. These are the visual impairments happening maybe by age or maybe by accident or any other radiation purpose. Power of accommodation. The human eye is able to see various objects around it. And this is possible with the help of eye lens and also retina. The eye lens is held by ciliary muscles. Normal human eye can see nearby and far objects clearly. Power of accommodation. The ability of the eye lens to increase or decrease its focal length to some extent by ciliary muscles is called power of accommodation. Now let us learn about working of eye lens. The eye lens is made up of a fibrous jelly-like material and hence it is flexible. To see the faraway objects clearly, the ciliary muscles relax so as to decrease curvature of the lens and it becomes thin and its focal length increases. Thus, the image of far-off objects is made on retina and the eye is able to see distant objects. Now, to see the nearby objects, the ciliary muscles contract to increase curvature of the lens and it becomes thick. Thus, focal length of the eye decreases and it is able to see nearby objects distinctly like reading. Limitation of power of accommodation. Focal length of the eye cannot be decreased below a specific limit. The eye cannot see objects clearly below 25 cm. So, least distance of distinct vision of a normal eye is 25 cm. However, there is no such limit for distant objects. Therefore, far point of normal human eye is infinity. So what we learn in power of accommodation? To see a closed distant vision, to see any object which are closer to us, then the specific limit is 25 cm. Below that, those objects will be blurred completely. Whereas, to see the faraway objects, there is no such limit or condition. We can see objects very, very far away from us. Therefore, it is taken as infinite or infinity. So what is power of accommodation? The ability of the eye lens to increase or decrease its focal length to some extent by ciliary muscles to see the near and far away objects clearly and distinctly is called power of accommodation. I hope you understood this. Let us have a quick recap on power of accommodation. So here, this is the outer bulge region which is cornea, and inside it there will be iris and also pupil, and after that there will be crystalline lens. So crystalline lens is joined to ciliary muscles by the use of ligaments. So how can we see the near and farther objects? So this is the ciliary muscle. The pink layer is the ciliary muscle and the blue layer is the ligament, whereas the yellow layer is the lens. So when the ciliary muscles relax or expands, the crystalline lens will become thin so that we can see the distant object, the faraway object. We can see faraway object only when the crystalline lens will become thin and the outer ciliary muscles expands. So in the case of closed vision, so the ciliary muscles contract, you can see a thicker layer. So when it contracts, it will become a thicker layer by which the inside lens also become thicker. So when this happens, we can see the objects which are very near to us, that is close to us. But there is a condition for that. The objects which are closer of about 25 cm, up to that we can see it clearly. Below 25 cm, we can see the object blurred. But for farther object, we can see the objects very farther, so it is considered as infinity. Why do we have two eyes for vision and not just one? There are several advantages of our having two eyes instead of one. It gives a wider field of view. A human being has a horizontal field of view of about 150 degree with one eye and about 180 degree with two eyes. The ability to detect faint objects, of course, enhanced with the two detectors instead of one. Some animals, usually prey animals, have their two eyes positioned on opposite sides of their heads to give the widest possible field of view. But our two eyes are positioned on the front of our head, and it thus reduces our field of view in favor of what is called stereopsis. Stereoscopic vision. It provides perception of distance and depth and results from the formation of two slightly different retinal images. Shut one eye and the world looks flat, that is, two-dimensional. Keep both eyes open and the world takes on the third dimension of depth. Because our eyes are separated by few centimeters, each eye sees a slightly different image, whereas our brain combines the two images into one using the extra information to tell us how close or far away things are. So this was the last topic of this session. I hope you understood all the topics very well. If you have any comments or suggestion about human eye and also about this video, please comment me on the comment section below. Thanks for watching my videos.